Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Fenway Park. I'm Kelly Schultz with the LPGA, and we're so happy to have you all here with us today. To start today's very exciting announcement, I would like to welcome up LPGA Tour Commissioner Mollie Samaan.
Hey, good morning, everyone. As Kelly said, I'm Mollie Samaan, the LPGA Commissioner. And on behalf of all of our players and staff, welcome and thank you for being here. This is a really exciting morning and one that I've been looking forward to for a very long time. However, before we proceed with today's announcement, I want to just take a moment to express our deepest condolences and sympathy to all those who've been impacted by the tragic events that unfolded this week in Maine. Obviously, our thoughts are with the victims and their families and friends during this really difficult time. So I think it's important to acknowledge that and to say we're with you here in Boston and New England. So with that, I'd like to start by just taking a moment to recognize some very special folks in the room with us today. We have with us Massachusetts Governor Healey. Woo! Rhode Island Governor Daniel McKee. Mayor of Boston, Michelle Wu. I know you guys are all incredibly busy, and so we really thank you for your service and thank you for being here. Your support really means a lot to us, so thank you again. I'd also like to thank Linda Henry, CEO of the Boston Globe, for being here and generously agreeing to be our host today. It's really a great honor. I haven't seen Linda. Oh, there she is. Hey, Linda. We have our great partners from the Fenway Sports Group and Fenway Sports Management. We have Sam Kennedy, Mark Lev, and so many of our teammates who have really helped us make this day possible. So thank you, guys. We have one of our very own, Brittany Altomare, a New Englander from Worcester, Mass. Brittany played her college golf at the University of Virginia, and she's a 10-year LPGA veteran. She has 17 top 10 finishes, and she represented the U.S. on the 2021 Solheim Cup team. So we're going to hear from Brittany a little bit later, but we're really excited that she's here with us today. Brittany, she looks like a golfer here. There's Brittany. We have Dan Wieslewski from the GM of TPC Boston, and Brad Faxon is here too. Brad worked on the renovation of TPC Boston, and guys, we can't wait to be with you and to teeing it up at TPC Boston, so thank you very much for being here. And finally, on a personal note, I'm really thrilled to have my daughter Katie and my nephew Sam here today. Katie's a first-year student at Tufts, and Sam and his 4 brothers and his parents are the biggest Boston fans that you can ever imagine living out in Marblehead. So it's really special to come back into this Boston community and have family here too. So thank you guys for being here. So I think it's just really fitting that the world's oldest professional women's sports league is here at the oldest active ballpark in Major League Baseball to make this really historic announcement today. So many of you may not know this, but the LPGA was founded in 1950. So if you think about that, that was 22 years before Title IX, when 13 courageous women decided that they were good enough and they were marketable enough to make a living playing golf. That was in 1950. So as you can imagine, most people at that time disagreed, which didn't at all deter them from their mission. You may know some of their names: Babe Dietrichson Zaharias, Louise Suggs, Patty Berg, Marilyn Smith, and my favorite, Shirley Spork. But more than just thinking that they could individually making a living doing what they love, somehow that they knew together they could create a legacy that would change lives, inspire others, and really have a positive impact on the world. They used to, I don't know if you just think about this in 1950, they used to carpool between tournaments. They had carloads of women crisscrossing across the country long before the interstate highway system, and at a time when women traveling, in packs on an open road was quite the novelty in and of itself. They would hold different colored panels out the window to signal, hey, it's time to stop to go to the bathroom or to get food or to gas up. They put up their own gallery ropes, they wrote their own press releases, they hung flyers in the storefront windows, and they sought out sponsors and hosted exhibitions to generate interest. They were on a mission to use their talents to both entertain, but also to show the world that women could follow their dreams, do hard things, and most importantly, they knew if they could succeed in this male-dominated world of sports, they could inspire young girls to pursue their own dreams, no matter how crazy they seemed or how unrealistic they seemed. So today, 73 years later, a lot has obviously changed, but our mission is still the same. So Brittany and her fellow members, they don't have to pound in the stakes or write the press releases, but she does have to entertain and inspire and work to make the LPGA and truly the world a better place and better than how she found it. That's who we are, and that's what we aspire to do and to be. So the LPGA is fortunate now to have some amazing partners who understand this multifaceted mission and who understand the unique opportunity we have. So when we decide to partner with a company to put on a new event, we look for four main things. First, does that title partner and its most senior leaders, it's really critical, and you'll hear from the most senior leaders today of FM Global. It's really important that they dig into this, that they truly value the talent and the collective LPGA product, and they're willing to invest in us with the eye towards growth and impact collectively. So the other thing we ask is, are our goals and our values and our brands aligned? Most importantly for us, are they committed to elevating, empowering, and advancing girls and women on and off the golf course? Do we have a golf course that's worthy of these remarkable women? It's really important that we play at the top golf courses. These are the top women in the world. These are the top 100 players in the world, and playing on the most iconic and the best golf courses really matter. And then do we have a community, sort of local, state, and sometimes we're traveling, we play in 13 different countries around the world, so sort of does that country, really embrace women, embrace women's sports? And do they have a fan base that want us there, who will welcome us, and who are committed to making it a first-rate experience for not just the players, but for the fans and the whole community? I think we really want a community that understands the power of sports, to build leaders, but also to build community. And we know here in Boston and the New England area, you guys are quite obsessed by sports and know the value of sports to build communities. So I'm thrilled to tell you that FM Global, our latest tournament and latest partner, fits that bill absolutely perfectly. This was abundantly clear from the very first time we met and started to dream big together. The first thing that Malcolm said was, golf is amazing, your athletes are amazing, but we're really excited about what we can do together off the golf course, and I know we'll hear from Malcolm about that. So as we kick it off, I'd like to kind of just get you a little hyped up with the video, and then I'm going to turn it over to Malcolm. So let's roll the video.
Huge honor to kind of have it in my home state, and I can't wait for all my friends and all the other girls on tour to come see what Massachusetts has to offer.
So with that, I turn it over to President and CEO Malcolm Roberts.
Good morning, everyone. What a great video. It's real. This is fabulous. As Mollie says, I'm Malcolm Roberts, President and CEO of FM Global. Before I start, I'll just echo Mollie's comments for all our kind of New England family here with the really sad events going on in Maine right now, so our thoughts are with them. I think the video there was the highlight now of my speech. I thought I'd start with a 20-minute tutorial on insurance. That normally warms the room up. But no, I do want to start with a great saying thank you to Mollie, to Governor Healey, Governor McKee, Mayor Wu, wherever everyone is, Brittany, Linda, Brad, Mark, Dan, all of our guests here today. Many very friendly and familiar faces. We couldn't be happier for all of your support and enthusiasm for today's announcement. I know I speak for all my colleagues in the room, which I'm delighted we've got so many of them have been able to join us here this morning, that we're going to bring elite level golf back to New England with the phenomenal golfers of the LPGA Tour. As you saw in the video, as Mollie noted, today we are announcing the FM Global Championship. It's going to be a brand new tournament for the LPGA, and we are, believe and very confident we're going to quickly make this one of the marquee events for the tour and for all the players. FM Global would like to commend all the work that Mollie spoke about. We really did have an alignment when we started these discussions probably 8-9 months ago. Just the LPGA, the way they're expanding the game professionally, but also at the grassroots level with the amateurs. And at FM Global, we can't think of a better partner to work and support as we enter into a new era for us in our first ever sports partnership as a company. So thank you, Mollie. So the FM Global Championship, who is FM Global, right? Well, as the name implies, we are a global commercial property insurance company headquartered in Johnston, Rhode Island. We have a very large campus of operations down the road in Norwood, Massachusetts too, and beyond New England, more than 50 offices throughout the US and all over the world, serving clients in more than 130 countries. Now, as an insurance company, we're clearly in the business of managing and mitigating risk, but we do this very differently to what you would normally think about. We do it through a unique science-based approach. We use state-of-the-art research and engineering, and we partner with our clients to build resilience into their business operations. And we deliver these science-based solutions through more than 2,000 engineers around the globe, helping our clients protect against things like fire, equipment failure, breakdown, as we see more and more on the news, the devastating natural disasters that keep happening more and more frequently around the planet. This investment in long-term, strategic, strong partnerships with our clients really allows us to protect much more than just their buildings and their facilities. We're protecting the value they're creating for their customers, their communities, and their stakeholders. And we've been doing that quietly here in New England and around the world for 188 years. So we're very proud to make this first step into professional sports. So why does a partnership with FM Global and the LPGA make sense from our perspective? Mollie said it extremely well, but we think our business model has a lot in common with the LPGA Tour and their amazing athletes. And Brittany, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm sure you would agree. Professional golfers on the LPGA Tour must identify hazards, understand risks as they approach every course, every hole, green, probably every swing. They've got to be resilient to bad bounces, dare I say, the odd errant shot. Must be able to respond, recover very quickly, and keep on playing. So at FM Global, when we work with clients, we really follow those same three practices. We understand and mitigate risk. We partner with our clients to build resilience into their operations. And if disaster does strike, we help them rebuild, recover, get their business back up in operations as soon as possible, using our industry-leading claims team and our broad policy coverages. I think, moreover, for us, the power of the LPGA connection, it really is a global organization that's extremely important to us. Tournaments from the United States, Europe, and Asia. You only have to look at the assembled fields and the leaderboard any given weekend just to see that. It truly is impressive. Players bring in diverse backgrounds representing many different countries from around the world. And that global footprint really mirrors FM Global's footprint. Mollie spoke to it. We felt the connection aligning with our inclusive and diverse workforce and our beliefs and values as a company. And it supports both our core markets and our emerging markets as we look to serve and partner with our clients around the globe. And then just one final thought, maybe beyond golf. But golf's a difficult sport. I, for one here, other than a few of you in this room who do it for a living and do it very well. I've played TPC Boston. If you want to know how to score a 95 round that, I'm your guy, right? Donnie and Dan will tell you that. But what I am always amazed at is the immense talent and desire watching these players try and get better, learning, improving, committing to further success. And that really parallels, I think, to what we need in our industry and quite frankly, in communities at large. If our future generations are to succeed, we've got to really continue to invest in their talent and their development and their education. And we see at FM Global a huge opportunity around this event and quite frankly, the entire partnership to support the next generation education for children, their schools, and really push that agenda forward. We believe this LPGA partnership, as Mollie alluded to, will provide us with a tremendous platform to provide that investment. The next generation of leaders in all sorts of areas, but certainly from our business, science, technology, engineering, math, and maybe a few lucky ones will find their way into this fabulous world of insurance. So we're looking forward to working with all our stakeholders here today and beyond as we build out these educational programs, support our local communities, the charities that we all want to get behind. And we see that as a major component of the partnership. So for FM Global, we're going to put on here with our partners a fabulous golf event, but there'll be a lot more happening around that, and I think opportunities abound in all those areas. So in closing, I'll just add my own thanks to everyone who made this possible. As many faces here I'm looking at on my team, and other teams have worked extremely hard to make this happen, and it doesn't happen by accident. I just want to acknowledge that tremendous effort that everybody has put in to get us to this point, and I can tell you, I'm sure I've been watching our team here. I've been watching our team here, just looking out and seeing FM Global and LPGA in this, phenomenal venue of Fenway Park. It's a new era for us, and we're extremely excited to launch this partnership today. So I hope we see all of you, golf fans from all over New England, beyond, all over the world on a Labor Day weekend at our 2024 at the fabulous venue of TPC Boston. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Malcolm, and thank you, Mollie. We are thrilled to bring the LPGA Tour back to New England and the greater Boston area. We have some special guests here to help us celebrate this very exciting announcement. And first, let's hear from the Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Governor Healey.
Thank you. Good morning. This is a great day. This is a really great day for so many reasons, and I want to begin by thanking Commissioner Samaan. I went to Harvard, and Princeton has been on the rise, just like killing it in athletics. And prior to this gig, the commissioner was the athletic director at Princeton University. I'm holding her accountable, but even though I'm sore about that, I am thrilled because this is why the LPGA is just on the move, and it's on the rise, and it's because of leadership. And so I know, Malcolm, this is going to be hugely successful, what is happening here with the LPGA coming to TPC Boston and the partnership with FM Global and FSG. It's super exciting. So it's wonderful to meet you and to have the LPGA here in Massachusetts this morning, along with one of its stars, Brittany. Thank you so much for coming. Of Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, we're delighted to welcome you home. To my good friends, Mayor Wu, we're in partnership on so many things. To Governor McKee, who you hear from our great neighboring state of Rhode Island, we're committed to golfing sometime this year. He tells me he's right. The Pawtucket Country Club actually is physically located in both Massachusetts and Rhode Island, so we think it's going to work out optically if we play. To Mark and everyone at Fenway Sports Management, to everyone at TPC Boston and Norton, Brad and the entire New England golf community. It is a historic golf community. We're proud that we can't play all year here. I know that folks play with a fervor and a passion for the game, and also an appreciation for history. Some of the oldest architecture in golf is here right in New England. So we are absolutely thrilled to welcome women's golf, the LPGA, the FM Global Championship to Massachusetts and to New England. We know this tournament is going to have an incredibly positive impact on the region. It's going to bring visitors to our restaurants and to our hotels and stores and cultural attractions. It's going to create jobs, and it's going to put our states on a big global stage. So that's pretty cool. It's also the case that golf is a growing industry, growing across all ages, and it's and there's a reason for that. As a wannabe golfer, I'm always trying, always practicing, failing miserably. It's a great game, and it's a game for life. And we have women who are going to be competing. They're athletes at the highest level of their game internationally, and it's also an opportunity for them to bring more people into this game and show what's possible. It'd be incredibly inspiring. Right here, we know that golf is a key industry, contributing actually to our economy in a big way. $2 billion every year in direct economic activity through golf in Massachusetts. $2 billion a year. About $1.5 million additional billion dollars, I should say, additional dollars in indirect impact. Both of these things have been significant increases over the last 3 years. We're home to nearly 350 golf facilities, 225 of which have public access, which is great. We know that golf tourism is on the rise, and hosting the LPGA in Massachusetts has incredible marketing value. Golfers and golf enthusiasts globally will see that Massachusetts is a top-tier golf destination. As a state, we operate public golf courses, and we look forward to more programming and more ways to make sure that we as a state are working in partnership to prioritize access and opportunity for all ages, all abilities, and all backgrounds. And we're delighted that we'll be able to lift up and amplify the tremendous excitement that the tour is going to bring to the Commonwealth. I think it's a good fit for Massachusetts, too, to be part of another big surge of interest and investment in women's sports. We have a women's professional hockey team, a women's professional football team. Soon, we're getting a women's soccer team. We'll have the mayor talk about that. We're a state of firsts. First public school, first public college, public park, public library. First basketball game in Springfield College, right, in 1891. And importantly, the first women's basketball game in 1892 at Smith College in Northampton. The LPGA, meanwhile, has set the historic standard for the high level of professionalism in women's sports and paved the way for so much of the progress we've seen over the last 50 years. We celebrated Title IX last year, and I just want to give credit and lift up again what Mollie had to say about those women in the early days, in trying times, made possible what we're going to see here next fall. And not only did it advance women's engagement and involvement in sports and athletics, which was so important, but with that came advancement in equality, in pay equity, in fair treatment, and in opportunity. And that's another reason why I'm so excited that Massachusetts gets to celebrate this wonderful, wonderful tour. So you don't have to play at the high level to get the benefits of this. We can all play wherever we are. That's a great thing about golf. You know, it meets you where you are. But for all of us, we're going to get a chance to see women competing at the very, very highest level of the game, and that's terrific for Massachusetts. It's terrific for the region, and I know I share alongside Mayor Wu and Governor McKee in looking for ways that we in government can further support and advance the work that all of you do. But very, very proud to have you here today, and we're grateful to FM Global, not only as an employer in the state, but finding ways to meaningfully contribute and make an impact well beyond business. So thank you all.
Thank you, Governor Healey. Next, we will hear from the Governor of the State of Rhode Island, Daniel McKee.
Well, thank you for the invitation to be here, Malcolm, and your leadership in many ways, both on business but also, bringing women's sports professionally to the region and to Massachusetts to start, right? I mean, we're going to continue to lobby into Rhode Island as well, because we do have great golf courses there as well. But to be here in this backdrop, I'll age myself. I was at Ted Williams' last game here when he hit a home run back in, in the 1960 time frame. So sports are very important in many ways. Personally, I'll just outline why women's sports in particular are important to my family. My brother Mike started the first women's basketball team at Bryant University in Smithfield. As a club sport, you can imagine in the 1980s, a club sport, moving it to a varsity level sport and actually winning the Southeast 8 at that time and heading to South Dakota for a national tournament. So my brother Mike will be inducted finally into the Bryant University Hall of Fame for that work, and he's going to have 9 of his players with him 40 years later. So it's pretty exciting on that. And then my daughter Kara, who is actually went to BU and snuck into games over here a few times when they were competing for the championships. But in the first grade, she was playing in a co-ed team league, and I was at the Boys and Girls Boys Club. I had just changed the name to the Boys and Girls Club as president. But and she came up to me and says, why don't we have a girls team? And we didn't have one in our town in the 1990s. And I said, well, give me 5 of your friends and we'll start a league. A year later, she had 5 of her friends, and we put a hoop in the garage, and we had the first practices for a women's team. And now, at the club 30 years later, that girls league is still going and very, very strong. So from a personal level, as I just said, I understand the importance that has been described by the governor, as well as the people who are really putting this together. On a governor level, I know that regionally we benefit economically. Hosting the Army-Navy game this year, we know that both Massachusetts and Rhode Island are going to do very well on that. When the Patriots play, teams fly in, and they many times are staying at hotels in downtown Providence. So we know that the connection there will be very similar here, when you have a professional sport like the LPGA, anchoring themselves with partnerships like FM Global as well. And we know we'll get the benefit of it. Governor, we do have good restaurants. You know that. We do have a reason to visit our state, and as you said, we'll definitely get out there and hit the golf ball around. But it is great for for women's sports, coming full circle from the time that I was very involved in my life, and how important that was to the young women that not only my brother Mike coached, but I coached as well, and what it meant to them. And now to have full circle, to have a professional, an international level, activity here with the very best professional athletes on women's golf is just an absolute thing to celebrate. And let's celebrate that. I know that the work that we're doing in Rhode Island is going to be complemented by the work that's being done here. Malcolm, looking forward to extending our conversation about what we think we need to do in education. I know that you have a sense that this event is going to bring you full circle into that area as well, and looking forward to working with the LPGA leadership to make that happen. So thank you to FM Global. Mayor Wu, thank you so much for being here as well. It's good to meet you finally after reading all the great things you're doing in Boston. And let's keep this partnership alive and well. And congratulations, and thank you for the invite to be here today to represent our state of Rhode Island.
Thank you, Governor McKee. And finally, in this opening portion of today's announcement, we will hear from the Mayor of the City of Boston, Michelle Wu.
Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to be here to celebrate a very, very exciting bit of news for the entire New England region, to be joined, of course, by the best partner one could possibly dream of at the state level, Governor Healey. Thank you. I think we spent maybe the last 24 hours straight together with ARPANET H and on all the wonderful celebrations of Team Massachusetts and the work you've been doing. Thank you so much to Governor McKee for being here, for your leadership as our neighbor to make sure that the whole New England region is so vibrant. We're grateful for all that you do. And to Commissioner, we're so thankful and so excited about this adding to the rise of women's sports here in Boston. Thank you to Malcolm as the sponsor here and to the entire FM Global team for all that you've done to make this possible. And I also just want to thank and recognize the hosts here, to Linda and to Dave and Sam and the entire Red Sox team. We make so many important announcements about the city and the region right here at Fenway Park. It's not only the seat of our sports legacy and history here in Boston and across Red Sox Nation, but it's also such an important part of the identity of the entire city. My kids wear their Red Sox hats out proudly as just how they identify as being part of Boston. They love the team. They love going to all of the various sports games and cheering on the teams. But when they wear that Red Sox logo, it really is about connecting to them as members of our community all the way down deep throughout each of our neighborhoods. So we thank you for the part that you play in bringing Boston together. We also thank you for always partnering and going above and beyond to make sure that we're bringing new opportunities to our city too. So I just want to recognize also that in just a few days from now, starting on November 1st, golfers and baseball fans alike will be able to work on their drives against the backdrop of this historic Fenway Park as part of the Fenway Swing Golf Experience. So we're really excited about that. The real story today is about the rise of women's sports in Boston. And as the governor mentioned, from football and hockey and starting in 2026, soccer and now to golf, we are so thrilled to have examples everywhere of what it means to be at the top of your field, to be building teamwork on and off the playing field, and also to set that example for the next generation. This is a product of a committed effort from all of us across the region, across the state, across the city, to ensure equity and representation at every level of athletics, from professional sports to our young people's earliest exposure to sports as fun and exciting ways to stay active and learn important life skills. At the city level, we are working every day to ensure that Boston is the best place in the country for families. And I'll bring in Providence also as part of that with our neighbors. That means making it easier not just to have high quality access to schools and academics, but to have fun, sports and arts and ways to really grow as whole individuals and community members. And we're making it easier for families to find and connect with those opportunities. So there will be so many positive ripple effects from hosting this FM Global Championship with the LPGA for our residents, for our economy, but especially for our young people. I'm mom to 2 boys, and they're 6 and 8 right now. They will just give them any sport. They are all in. They did their first cross-country, 1.1 mile race over the weekend with the Mayor's Cup around Franklin Park. They're in soccer, they're in tennis. They love watching everything possible. But it's such a given for them that girls and women are at the top of everything that they enjoy watching and being a part of. And then it's so exciting to be able to raise kids in an environment where we see that representation across every part of their experience. So thank you so much to everyone who had a hand in today. It's truly an honor to be here.
Thank you, Mayor Wu, and thank you all who joined us up here this morning to help us make this exciting announcement. Next, we're excited to have a panel discussion for everyone, delving a little deeper into the growth of women's sports here in Boston and New England, and just how exciting the tournament week will be at TPC Boston next fall. To lead this panel, I'd like to welcome Linda Henry, CEO of Boston Globe Media.
All right, this has been a really exciting morning, and I just want to thank all of you who are here celebrating this great day. And I'd like to invite my panelists to come up, and while they're coming up, just a quick story about what Mayor Wu was saying. It really reminded me. I have a daughter that's now 12, but when she was 6 or 7, she literally grew up coming to this ballpark. She's very lucky. She's been to a couple games. And I remember one time she looked at me so earnestly and said, "Mom, are girls allowed to play baseball?" And it took me a minute to understand what she was asking, what she was telling me. What she was telling me is that she's never seen a woman play. And so she actually didn't really know if it was possible, or she used the word allowed. And it caused me to think a lot differently about representation and inclusion. And we launched, so Wally's here, Wally's younger sister. Tessie was an important representation for us in engaging women in sports, and I've personally become involved in a lot of women's sports as well. So this is a really, really exciting announcement, and I want to thank so many people here in this room who I see who are champions of women's sports in so many different ways, and advocates of this city and this region, and made this happen. So thank you to all of you. And look at this fantastic panel we have. Hello, welcome. I want to start with you, Governor Healey, because you spoke so beautifully this morning about sort of some of the role that golf plays, and you've been such a huge champion of Team Massachusetts, and Mayor Wu referenced that. Can you explain a little bit about what that means and how this is really part of your mission?
Well, thanks, Linda. I do talk about Team Massachusetts, and I talk about Team Massachusetts because I think our success really depends on having that vibe. And it's also, what makes us a leader, a global leader in things like life sciences and healthcare and technology and innovation. And it's also the case that we're like the epicenter when you're talking about competitive sports and fan interest. Like, bring it on, and our teams, we can go through different seasons and, ups and downs. But what is constant is that there is a huge gravitation to an appreciation for sports. And it's not solely for entertainment. I think that we derive part of identity and a team spirit through sports, and therefore all we can do to, I think, attract and build momentum helps Team Massachusetts. People want to be with a winner, and people like winning, and people like competing. And I think that's one of the reasons I'm so supportive, Linda, of our sports teams and the growth of sports teams. As a woman and a former athlete, I am always down with doing whatever we can to increase women's equity in sports. And that's a whole other reason for this, but it's just really important that we also be seen not only as the global leader in education, healthcare, and life sciences, and all those good things that we're going to continue to further, and also that we be seen as a leader when it comes to attracting top talent in all fields, and that includes, on the court, on the ice, on the playing field. So,
I love that. There are so many dimensions to being this winning Team Massachusetts, and being just a fun place to live is with exciting opportunities like that is part of it. Commissioner, thank you so much for being here. We have been so excited about this, waiting for this announcement to happen. Can you talk to us about what this means for the sport to have these sort of growing, big, prestigious events going on with real prize money behind it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, at the core of what we do is we put on golf tournaments. But I think when we have a tournament like this, it signals something different. I mean, this is going to be a marquee event. So I'm not sure, if you guys recognize, but the purse of this event is $3.5 million, which is the largest purse on tour outside of our major championships and the tour championship. So that is, again, signaling this growth that's happening in women's sports. The top player on the LPGA last year made $4.5 million playing golf outside of her endorsements. That is a gigantic number, but the 100th best player on the tour made $167,000, and it probably cost $150,000 to be out on the tour. So there's still a lot of growth to be had. In the last 2 years, again, signaling the change in the women's sports landscape, we played for $70 million in 2021. This year we're playing for $108 million. Next year we'll probably play for close to $120 million, thanks to these type of partnerships. And it really matters. It signals, again, this idea that if women can succeed and are compensated commensurate with their talent, again, the top 150 golfers in the world, they should be playing and participating at the professional level for a salary that's commensurate with that talent. And this event is signaling that. that women's sports has a whole different sort of vibe going. I think we've talked about it a lot here this morning with the NWSL coming to Boston, with the women's professional ice hockey coming here. We have in the room Angela Ruggiero, who I call the GOAT, the greatest women's ice hockey player of all time with 4 Olympic medals, and again, lives here in Boston and is 100% committed to the growth of women's sports. And I think that's what we're doing. So this event is more than just a golf tournament. I mean, it's signaling this change, but it's also brands that see the commercial value in this, but they also see that we have this platform to use sports like the founders did 73 years ago to elevate women in all aspects of society. So this is a really big moment for us, and we're really grateful that FM Global has said, we're gonna do it big, and we're gonna do it right, and we're here at Fenway with the governors of 2 states and the mayor. This is big, this matters, and it signals something very different.
I agree with all of that in terms of what it's signaling and what it means going forward. And so you brought up FM Global, and we have Dave Johnson. Your specific title is FM Global Senior Vice President and Chief Client Experience Officer, but I think what it really means is that you get to be part of this really exciting event.
Exactly. You talk about a client experience. I mean, this is amazing. So. Yeah, look, we don't do anything by accident at FM Global. We're an insurance company and we're a group of engineers. So when we went into this whole idea of sponsorship, which we started about 18 months ago, of course, we do it just like we do everything. We start with what's our process. So we came up with our objectives, and I carry those objectives around with me just because I think it's important to remind myself, and I don't want to forget them at our first ever press conference in 188 years. So, look, there's 5 objectives that we went into this looking at sponsorships, and we looked at several different organizations. So we needed somebody, a partner who would help us raise awareness and help us tell our story of resilience to a much broader audience around the world. That was the first thing. We needed a partner who could help us energize and activate our own employees, that our employees could get behind us and our efforts. And in particular, our female employees. And in particular, we wanted to focus on STEM and how we could activate STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. That's really what we are at the core as an insurance company. And of course, it had to be good for business. Fortunately, golf and insurance have probably been linked together for hundreds of years, and no difference here. But we wanted to give our clients a first-class VIP, inside the ropes experience. And it had to be global. We're a global company, and that's what we really love about this partnership with the LPGA is I look at the leaderboard every week on the LPGA, and you see where all the golfers are from. And that's where we have offices, so there's really a great synergy there. So the LPGA ticks all those boxes for us, and we did look at other sponsorships, but this just felt right from the get-go.
Oh, we're really thrilled for your support of this. And you talked about the specific golfers, and we're so lucky to have Brittany here with us this morning. Brittany, you're in your 10th season? Yes. That's incredible. How have you seen the LPGA and the sport evolve in your decade of being a professional athlete?
Yeah, I mean, it's changed so much. I think the word global keeps coming up. I mean, we've always been a global tour. We've attracted talent from all over the world, and now we're attracting companies that are global and are super competitive and big in their industries, and being able to bring companies and partnering with them and watching purses rise the way that they have, especially in the last couple of years, has been really amazing. And even just on a tour level, I mean, with Mollie, you brought so many resources that we never really had to the tour, like mental health coaches and dietaries, people to help us with diet and stuff on the tour, and just so many more resources we've never had before. And being able to also partner with companies like FM Global, I mean, it's just pretty incredible to be here right now. So has it become easier? Do you find that from 10 years ago to now that you're sort of regarded even more professionally as an athlete? Yeah, I mean, to be able to play golf courses that the men have played with the prestigious feeling that it has being on those golf courses, the history, and then also being able to partner with companies like FM Global, companies that are huge in their industries. I mean, it just makes you feel as though we're elevating women's golf and putting us on a stage that is equal to the men and showing our talents and being able to show how good we are to the world. It's been pretty incredible.
That's really, really exciting to see. So we have two other really fantastic women athletes on stage with us as well, Governor Healey and Commissioner. You were both collegiate athletes. You were basketball at Harvard. You were ice hockey and soccer at Princeton before becoming athletic director there. And then you went on to play professionally as well, Governor. Can you talk about the role that being an athlete and a scholar had for you, how it sort of set the table for you to have success later in life? I know, Governor, you've talked about this in forum. So can you share with this audience here why does it matter?
Well, I can tell you that I wouldn't be governor were it not for women's sports and what I was able to participate in. And, you know, when I go see my nieces play today, they play on girls' teams. When I was growing up, we had to play on boys' teams. And it's just really important that there has been that growth, because I think the studies show that for women in particular, athletics really can do so much for self-esteem, for confidence, and for the skill building that's so foundational. You learn through athletics how to compete, what it takes to win, discipline, teamwork, hard work. You learn how to deal with failure and setback. And these are all things that not only gave me the guts to put my name forward, you know, and run for public office, it also gives me the resilience to withstand some of what comes with the job. And ultimately, and I think most importantly, there's a reason I came in with this Team Massachusetts idea, Linda, and it's very much tied to athletics. And frankly, I think that women who compete in sports, I will say, get team really, really well. And that makes for better results. So that's why I'm in. And I'd also say to look at Brittany, you know, it's not just because it's the right thing to do. These are athletes, you know, and if anybody's watched professional sports on TV, the level of play, what these athletes go through, they work just as hard as the guys, and they have worked just as hard as the guys, frankly, with far fewer resources and support through history. So it's just great to see an investment, a major financial investment that frankly is befitting of these athletes and the tour, right? And what this does. And finally, representation matters. Seeing is believing. And for Brittany, I want you to know what these girls out there are going to see. Seeing you out there competing, you don't know. They may run for office someday. They may do all sorts of things. They may be on the tour themselves. You're going to give girls, particularly girls, an understanding of what's possible, and that's a really, really powerful thing.
And what are, Commissioner, so I feel like that was answered really well in terms of the role of and the importance. So what are some other things that the LPGA is doing to grow this game and to really support women athletes?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I'm not holding the Harvard thing against you here today, but did you watch the football game this past weekend? Yeah. Just saying. We always have to take a little dig at the Harvard folks, you know, along the way. And I think just to add to, I think I need to take you on the road with me. I mean, that was amazing, just in terms of
I'm going to bring Angela, though.
Yeah, bring Angela on the road. Yeah, well, that's right. Sorry for the Harvard connection there, Ange, too. But you know, I think you said that beautifully in terms of what sports does. I think the only thing I would add to that is just this idea that as an athlete, it's all those skills, but it's mindset. I think when girls play sports their whole lives, their mindset is very different. Their mindset is, I can compete, I can, you know, take up space in the world, I can do anything that's hard, I can win, I can lose. So you said that beautifully, and we talk about that all the time. So for us, that's what our kind of whole mission is. I mean, our mission, our stated mission, is to be the leader in women's golf globally, but really specifically to use our platform to advance, empower, and elevate girls and women on and off the golf course. So we see the LPGA as an opportunity to do all the things that you just said. So we are not just the LPGA Tour. People sometimes say the LPGA and they think of a professional golf tour, but we say we hit women golfers or girls golfers from cradle to grave. So we have a very dynamic girls golf program. We have 600 girls golf sites, the LPGA, USGA girls golf sites all over the world. I was in Korea last week and met with the the LPGA professionals in Korea, who we put on a clinic at the tournament in Korea, and we're empowering and advancing girls through the game of golf all over the world. We play in 13 different countries. We have representation from 35 different countries on tour. So that's really important to us. The girls' golf program is extremely important. I think 45% of our girls are girls of color in our girls' golf program. 35% of junior golfers are girls now. About 10 years ago, that was less than 15%.
Wow.
So we're really working to elevate the number of girls that are playing golf because we see the power in it, and we're working, nonstop every day, very intentionally, to use the platform that they have as role models to inspire young girls in other ways to do hard things, like the governor said. So we every day work at this, and we recently launched. We recently served our millionth girl through the girls golf program, but we've just launched a program that we're calling 1 million more. So in the next 7 years, we hope to hit the next million girls. And we had a big fundraiser out at Pebble Beach a couple months ago where we raised $1.5 million, all going back into this girls golf programming. So we're very intentional about the idea that it's our responsibility to grow opportunities for girls and women all over the world.
This is also, just to contextualize this in terms of why this really matters, is that it's been a minute since there's been a major tournament in this area. Can you tell us the last time this was?
I think the last time the LPGA played was in 1997. We've played the U.S. Women's Open since then. I think Meg Mallon won in the early 2000s. So we've played in New England, but we haven't been here in a long time. And this is the biggest sports community in the world. And so and Brittany knows that, obviously, but she's like, God, thank God you're back. And Megan Kang, who you saw, who's playing in Malaysia right now, and a number of other, Pat Bradley, who most of you I'm sure know, is one of the greatest golfers of all time. And we have this bell in our office. We talk a lot about success and driving results, and we say we ring the bell when something good happens, but it's actually Pat's bell. Her mother had it in her backyard in New Hampshire, and every time Pat won a tournament, which was quite often, she'd ring the bell for the whole neighborhood to come. So now that's in our office. So that connection back to this region is really important. I think Liselette Neumann won the last tournament here, the Welch's Championship, in 1997. So we couldn't be more thrilled to be back here in a community that just embraces sports and embraces women's sports.
And it's time. And so what you were talking about in terms of it being sort of this regional tie-in and this global tie-in, it makes it so perfect for FM Global, who, as you mentioned, is headquartered in Rhode Island but has a global footprint. So can you talk to us a little bit more about that local and global aspect that's important to you for this?
Yeah, and I think first, Mollie, I wish I could bottle what you just said, because that's exactly why we're partnering with the LPGA. So just really love those words. So look, there's a couple of different things. We are so happy, I guess, on a local level to be able to bring professional sports and an event like this into the New England area. Again, it just feels really good to us. And this whole partnership from the first meeting we had back in April has always felt really good. I remember, I think it took 20 minutes before somebody in the room that day said, look, how do we make this happen?
Yeah.
So it just happened very quickly. It's amazing what happens when your CEO and your CFO are aligned on something. And look, all those things, the reason I say that is because all those things that you just said, that's exactly how the first 20 minutes of the conversation went. So just an amazing partnership. But looking at the local and the global, fantastic opportunity for us to really make a mark here locally. There's our senior women leadership are here. They're ready to support this. They're taking time out from running big operations in our company, and they're here to support it. I really appreciate that. But I think maybe the stars of the show, the people that are doing the hard work, there's a whole row of women electricians here. And I just learned it takes 4 years to become a licensed electrician. 5 years, excuse me. So you talk about people doing the hard work out there, and thank you. I think that's... And that's why we're doing this. That's exactly why we're doing this. We're also doing it because of that global angle. We've got a fantastic local presence. I mean, what a venue we're in today. And but we've got operations, and we've got the best group of clients, and they're everywhere around this world. And we see the LPGA as just the perfect platform to really elevate that message that we have. So, for instance, we just opened a branch office in Korea. We have big ambitions in Korea. And there may not be a country where golf is more accepted and golf crazy than Korea. So to my Korean colleagues out there, we're coming to help, and I'm bringing my friends from the LPGA to help. So.
Brittany, I want to give you the last question here. What can we expect? What's it going to be like for those who haven't been to a tournament like this before? What can fans expect?
Well, I mean, I might be biased, but I think that the LPGA event is an amazing event to attend. I think that we are one of the most approachable professional athletes that you could possibly know. I mean, I think that we give a great fan experience between being accessible to us for autographs, pictures, even the Pro-Am experience. I mean, I can't tell you how many times somebody's come up to me that's played in a PGA versus LPGA Pro-Am event and say how approachable, how nice, and how we just interact with people. I think that we just give a really good client and experience. I just think we're fun.
You're fun.
Yeah, that's
all right.
We're just fun. I mean, we all have great stories to tell, and I keep saying approachable, but we really are so approachable, and I think that that's one of the best things about the LPGA is our fan experience.
Don't you love it when men say, well, I want to come watch the LPGA players because I can relate. And I'm like, no, you can't. You can't even come close to relating. I said, I'll put you against Brittany any day.
I actually had a conversation with my dad about that. He goes, you guys are just so much more relatable. I was like,
You're like, I'll give you 20 strokes and then we'll see how relatable I am. Yeah.
Well, this is a really, really exciting day. Thank you, all of you, for being here to be part of this moment, to be part of this future momentum of the LPGA. I really appreciated you sharing the history of this sport here. I love that we have a star. You can tell this is really important and that Massachusetts means it because the governor is here and the mayor, and we had the governor of Rhode Island as well. And thank you, Dave, for you and your company for your vision and partnership in making this happen. So thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Cranston.
Cranston.
Yeah.
Really, it was so fun.
All right. Thank you all for being here today. What an exciting morning. You can feel the excitement that we have in coming back. I think we're already counting down the days till next fall, and we look forward to seeing you all out there with us at TPC Boston.